Chicle. Hey guys, welcome to Chicle Chat. It's your boy Chicle, and we are back at it again with another Broadway review video. Obviously, I sang the end of Waving Through a Window, and that's because we're doing a review on Dear Evan Hansen. I love it how I'm matching. I actually didn't even plan that. Before we talk about this musical, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe button, the notification bell, and if you saw Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, make sure you guys let me know down in the comments below what you thought about the performance. Now obviously, I didn't see the one with Ben Platt, but if you saw the performance with Ben Platt, then please don't brag about it. That would make me feel a lot better. And with that being said, guys, let's go! Dear Evan Hansen is about a senior boy named Evan Hansen who has mental illness and social anxiety. And the only way how he can get through it is by writing letters to himself. Starting off with Dear Evan Hansen, today's going to be a good day because, and then fills out whatever he needs to say, and then he has to conclude it with sincerely me. So one day he wrote a letter to himself, and it wasn't really a nice letter. And then he prints it out, but then Connor Murphy, who's this guy that bullies Evan Hansen, grabs the letter from him and reads the letter and was like, what the hell, bro? Because it mentioned some things about his sister Zoe Murphy, who Evan has a crush on, and it really made Connor really mad. And so he storms out with the letter, and Evan Hansen noticed that his name Connor was on his cast. I forgot to mention that part, but that's important. And so a few days later, Connor Murphy has committed suicide, and his parents meet up with Evan Hansen. And they assume that he and Connor were best friends because one, of the letter, and two, because Connor was the only one that has written his name on Evan Hansen's cast. Evan has to go along with the story, fabricates this relationship that he had with Connor, and then things get carried away and he's stuck going on with the story, and then they did this whole Connor Project thing where he tells a story about Connor Murphy because they don't want to forget about him. And then he has been dealing with so much stuff, and then he has to tell the truth to the Murphys, and it gets so emotional at the end. I'm just gonna stop right there. I'm gonna tell you guys what I thought about the cast of the performance that I saw, which is on July 17th, 2019. And I'm gonna explain to you guys what I thought about the show. And I don't remember names that well, so I got a playbill for a reason. So let's look up some names. So the man who plays Evan Hansen is Andrew Barth Feldman, and he plays mostly every single night. And then there's a guy named Michael Lee Brown who does the Wednesday and Saturday matinees, but the performance I saw was with Andrew Barth Feldman. That dude is young. There's some hard songs to sing from that. As an actor, he did a fantastic job playing a guy with mental illness. He really portrayed the character really well. I thought he did a good job. The only thing I have to say is, if the songs were it just seems so hard to sing. It's really hard for me to sing Waving Through a Window and words fail. Not only that they're emotional, they're just really high pitches. And you could tell by his face, there's veins coming out of his neck. He's really... It was just a really, really hard song to sing. But other than that, Andrew did a fantastic job. Also, can I mention that he has about 3 understudies? Next up, we have Connor Murphy, played by Alex Boniello. And I thought that he was very interesting to watch. I love it when he freaks out, and I love how emotional he gets in the beginning, and then how he plays a major part in the story as an imaginary image in Evan Hansen's mind, and the way how he plays in Sincerely Me when Jared and Evan has to come up with some made up letters. And he's just great. He plays more of a conscience to Evan Hansen and is more like himself, you're talking to yourself. That's not the best way to word it, but man, he did a good job. Zoe Murphy was played by Mallory Bechtel. She was gorgeous. She was a great singer, a great actress, and I just love it when she sang Requiem. The next one we have is Heidi Hansen, played by Lisa Brachia, and I did not know that she was one of Glindas from Wicked. She was one of my favorite characters because you could tell that if a parent is struggling in life to help provide for their kids, there's many different perspectives. In the beginning I thought, oh, she doesn't really care that much. She just leaves money on the table and just works as a nurse and then takes college classes. She doesn't spend much time with Evan Hansen and doesn't really know much about his mental illness. But then towards the end, we kind of understand her a little more. We get a little more sympathetic. She was a great actress. She made me cry when she sang So Big, So Small. And I was already crying when I was listening to Words Fail. I'm not gonna get into it, but the whole ending made me cry, and that was just, it made it worse when she sang that song. We're gonna move on. Jared has been played by Skylar Dakota Lynch, but for that performance that I saw, it was actually, can I find the name? I believe it was Dan Mack that played Jared that performance. I thought he was funny. He was like the comic relief of the show. He tries to help, but he does it in a sarcastic way, and like, you know, he's just so funny. Next up, we have Alana Beck, played by Samantha Williams. She's very energetic. I thought she was hilarious. I love it when she mentions about the close acquaintances instead of friends. I thought it was hilarious. Then we have the Murphys, Larry Murphy and Cynthia Murphy. Larry Murphy, played by Michael Park. Then we had Cynthia Murphy, played by Jennifer Laura Thompson. I just don't want to cry when she cries. She cries a lot in the show, obviously because of her son and the fact that she's grieving from it. And oh my gosh, there was only 8 cast members, and every single one of them had a great voice, great performance. I have to say they were all equally great. Now, my final thoughts about the performance. I listened to almost every single song before watching this musical, and everybody has been telling me what the musical is about, and everybody's been trying to, you know, tell me to go see the show and everything, and they said some amazing stuff about the performance. So I finally got a standing room seat. It was the best view ever. All those skims and screens were up for, like, you know, mobile devices and stuff, and like the orchestra is like on the upper left so you can see everything. The lighting and the setting was just phenomenal. Everything. And the fact that this musical is a theme about suicide and mental illness and how you have to step out in the sun and everything. It was so emotional. And I've never been so emotional attached to any musical like this. There's some things that I could relate to because of my disability, even though there's like a different interpretation. I literally sang songs about it. There's no question about it. This musical deserves a 15 out of 10. And that was the score that I gave Hamilton in the review. But if I had to choose, if I either like Evan Hansen or Hamilton more, Dear Evan Hansen is probably my favorite show that I have ever seen as of right now. Guys, if you have a chance, make sure you go see this show. It's gonna be hard to get tickets because the show is sold out most of the time. I would recommend going for a standing room. It's a pain in the butt to stand for hours, but guys, seeing this performance is worth it. Guys, that's pretty much it for today's review video. If you enjoyed this video, obviously you know what to do. Give it a like, give it some love, and with that being said, guys, that's all I have for today. Peace out.